I can't stand camping and I hate the nature. I hate all of it. I ordered it and then I had to come up and get it. What am I tipping for? Like, dude, since when are Lego sets priced like a used car? I don't know. To me, it's insane.
Yeah.
This was a big problem. This is what people need to understand. The way you get change from these companies, and this is about everything. Stop buying it. You gotta hit him where it hurts. You speak and vote with your wallet. I think the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing is really interesting. When the whole thing happened, when the story came out that he unalived himself, it was kind of like you have conspiracy theorists and you have regular people, and everybody agrees that it's weird. Everybody was waiting for the Epstein client list to be released. Now it comes out that there's no list. Pam Bondi a few months ago said that the list was on her desk. Kash Patel was on podcasts before he was sworn in talking about that the reason this list hasn't come out yet was because of who's on this list. Now there's no list.
Y'all gotta do it if y'all wanna get it. We were born ready, yeah, and y'all gotta get it. Y'all gotta move it if y'all gonna get it. We were born ready, yeah, and y'all gotta get it.
Hello everybody,
Goddamn.
welcome back to
Back
Respectful
to
Disrespectful, the best you've ever seen on episode 14. 14 episodes in, that's pretty crazy. We're not really prepared for this, and I will explain why. We came back from a camping trip on Sunday, and then Monday, we usually record on Sunday, and you know, your boy works a full-time job, so couldn't do it on a Monday, but here we are. Not letting you down. There will be no pause in our weekly uploads. We actually got a few serious topics today, but also some light ones. So as always, we're gonna start with the things that make you hate me a little less, and I seem a little less crazy. We went camping for July 4th. Did you enjoy it? Igor went with us.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was good.
It was good.
The
No,
drive,
it was fun. The drive killed me. I'm pretty sure the drive killed you even more at that point.
yeah, we took a 4.5 hour drive.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, it was the longest I've ever driven. Not a fan of it, to be honest with you. Driving sucks for me, at least. I feel like I'm just tense the whole time I drive.
Next
we
place we're
made it.
going to is Niagara Falls.
No, I'm
You're
taking
driving.
I'm taking a plane. Here's what I gotta say about camping. I've never been camping with like tents before, although I always wanted to. I thought it was always cool. You know, you get a tent, you're out in the wild, got a little fire going. And then, you know, I actually start doing it, and I realized that I can't stand camping, and I hate the nature. I hate all of it. You know, I feel like we as a society got to a point where we have plumbing, we have showers, we have refrigeration, just for my ass to act like a caveman out again and just be out there, you know, cooking shit on a fireplace. So I don't know, man. The bugs and everything, just not my cup of tea. All the sprays and stuff that people promote, you know, we went to Walmart, bought a bunch of sprays. Didn't work. I got all bit up by everything possible. You know, you're sleeping and something crawling up your ass. So it's just, you know, camping is a acquired taste, I feel, because I was excited for day one, and by day two I was like, I'm ready to get out of here. I miss my bed. I miss my toilet. I miss my shower. You miss the little things, you know, things you take for granted.
The AC.
The comfort of life is what you miss, because we were up there and, you know, constantly looking at somebody cook something on a fireplace. God bless their heart. I didn't have to do anything. I just had to look at everybody make food. We took a little hike and everything. It was great. But, you know, you realize that it's just, you're sweaty, you're dirty, you know, it's hot, then it's cold. You can't make up your mind. There was no connection. Bro, every time I encounter a situation where I don't have any service on my phone, I morph into a crackhead. I morph into a tweaker. I don't know what's going on. I check my phone every 5 minutes. I open up Twitter even though I know nothing will happen. And it's just not for me, you know what I mean? We had to drive 50 minutes out of the campsite to get any internet, which is crazy. I don't know how people live out there, okay? But I just think it's insane that, you know, you have to do so much to get a little bit of internet, which, again, you know, all the sound lights. So
the satellites aren't work. Give you internet.
yeah, don't listen to him. He knows nothing. Yeah, so we went camping, tents, all that stuff was fun, and now we're back in the city, and I don't know. This week's been kind of weird. I feel long weekends always mess me up. I don't know if people feel this way when they have like a full-time job. Every time I have some kind of vacation or extended weekend, it's just so much harder to come back. I used to have this problem when I was going to high school. I would there was a moment in time in like 9th grade and 10th grade where I just stopped going. I would like just not show up to school weeks at a time. I mean, it was honestly very ridiculous. And it wasn't because something was going on. I just genuinely didn't want to go. And I remember after I missed like 3 weeks of school, I wanted to come back, but it was just hard for me to come back. I felt like I'm going to come back. I'm going to miss a lot of stuff. I'm not going to know where I am. I wanted to avoid it. And that's kind of like what happens with work. I feel lost. If I spend like 3 days without work or like vacation, everybody I work with know this about me. If I go on vacation or have some kind of like day off, I'm still going to be checking emails and writing chats and stuff just because I hate like not being in the loop even for a day. I come back and I'm like, wait, what's going on? I get anxiety and stuff. I don't know. Do you ever get like that? Like if you miss out on something for a while?
So usually going back to school was a hard thing for me, but I wouldn't miss out for like weeks. It would be like, I don't know, I get sick for 2 days, I'm gone. I come back and I'm like, well, the day before I'm going back, I'm like, I don't want to go back, but I do want to go back. Same thing with work. I would go on extended vacations when I could for like 2 months at a time. Well, I used to go to Ukraine all the time. So
fucker said extended vacation. Dude, hibernating for 2 months.
Well, I wish it was hibernation. It was actually a lot of gruesome work from Monday through Saturday. And then when it's time to go back to work, I'm like, I don't want to go back to work.
Yeah, I guess that's why, like, we're like routine beings, I guess, I get like that with diets and like if I ever start working out even a little bit, if I get on like a streak, it's really hard for me to miss something. And then if I miss a day or something, same with dieting, I beat myself up. I have like a hard time coming back. I'm like, oh, I'm not, it's over.
There's a meme in the like bodybuilding and just working out community, like people who go to the gym that gain like muscle and stuff, and then they usually say that they lose a lot of muscle after getting a little cough because they stop going to the gym, they get sick. And then I don't know, it's a meme, not 100% sure about like where it started or what's going on, but I'm guessing it's similar to this where you miss out on something for a day and then it's just harder to get back into the loop. Same thing with the podcast. We didn't record it on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then every single day after that,
it's like you get thrown off.
Yeah, my motivation to record the next day was just dropping lower and lower.
Yeah, I definitely get like that as well. And then I start to procrastinate. I start like moving stuff around. I'm like, I'll do it later. So I guess the moral of the story is just keep slaving away at work or school or whatever it is.
Will do.
Yeah, I used to do that all the time. I don't know. Maybe I'll get better at it with time. I'm curious how it feels like when you are like, if you're self-employed and you run your own business. I imagine that if you take a few days off, it like hits even harder.
Well, it depends what kind of business you're running, if you can afford to take those few days off. If you're, let's say, in a construction company where you're one of the workers and you can't afford to take a couple of days off, then it's probably a big hit. But if you have a bunch of workers under you and you can realistically work from home, then I don't know. I feel like it's not that bad.
I guess so.
Also, it depends who you have managing your company too.
I feel like
who's
everybody
right under you.
That's true, but I feel like everybody I know who is self-employed or runs their own company. I mean, my dad is an example. My boss. I mean, there's like a few people I know, and it's like I've seen them go to vacation and they're just on the phone constantly. There's no way for them to be like, well, I'm disconnecting. I'm like gonna take a break for real. It's never like that. You get calls, you get texts. So
yeah. Whenever we used to go to Ukraine with my dad, he would be on the phone constantly. He would be getting calls from here.
Yeah. On Viber and stuff.
No. Through the phone.
Ooh, big money spending.
Yeah. Well, company would cover the whole thing, but still, it was insane because we'll be like doing something because whenever we used to go there, we would do like a lot of construction stuff.
Yeah.
And he would just constantly be getting calls. I'm there holding up a piece of sheetrock on the ceiling.
He's talking on the phone.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, just hold it for a bit," And I'm like,
And you're over there holding on for dear life.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, work, I'm sometimes very, like, I'm glad I'm not stuck with, sometimes I go to, like, McDonald's or something, and it feels like those, how everybody, when you were growing up, they were like, oh, you're going to be a McDonald's worker, and, like, they lowballed these kind of jobs, resale and all that stuff. Those are difficult jobs. You have so many people around you all the time. And then you're barely scraping by because, most of these places, like if you're a waiter, I feel like that's a starting job for a lot of people. It's like cashier, waiter, I don't know, cook or something. I don't know.
I was a cashier and then a cook.
There you go.
Fun
I feel like
times.
a lot of people have experience with that. And they'll tell you that it's just the pay is bad, right? And then you got to rely on tipping. And then, dude, the whole thing with tipping, I feel like everybody I talk to about this, like, literally hates me and thinks I'm some kind of fascist or something. I just want to make this very clear, okay? The problem is not tipping necessarily. The problem is that it has become this thing where employers expect people to tip a lot, where they lower the wage.
Yep.
Okay, that's the problem. So let's get that out there, okay? Now, my problem is I'm sick and tired of going to Shake Shack, going to Starbucks, and then I come up to the cash register, I order something, the guy tips the shit over, and he's like, tip? For what, bro? For what? At Shake Shack, I remember, they didn't give me my food. I ordered it, and then I had to come up and get it. What am I tipping for? Right? Now, that's the other thing. You're tipping on a little screen, right? The classic thing is in restaurants, right? You have a waiter, you get good service or whatever, they check in on you, and then you slip them a few dollars, you know what I mean? You give them like a few bucks as like a tip, as a thank you. When you're tipping on a machine, I don't know where that's going. I don't know who's getting that money. It's a machine tied to the corporation.
So, in the restaurant I worked in for 4 years, there was like no option to tip on the screen. If you wanted to tip, we had a little tip jar there.
Right.
And when we would get the cash, like me and like one other person, because it was just two of us working in the kitchen, we would get that stuff. But then when new management came in, they put the thing on the tablet to like tip.
Less people tipped?
No, but it was always funny because people would try to tap their phone to pay and just not looking at the screen. And I'm like, you got to click on the screen. Like, I never asked for tips.
Right, yeah.
Because I feel terrible asking for tips. Like, I'm not working for tips. I'm getting a decent job I'm getting a decent pay as a college student. I don't really need tips like that. It's nice. It makes me feel good.
Yeah,
It also gives me slightly more motivation to put extra work into making your food. But if you tip or not, it's not going to really change how your food tastes or how I'm treating you. And when they put that there, the only thing that changed is it was much more annoying to take orders, because it would get to that point where I've seen like 50 to 100 people throughout the whole day just constantly tapping their phone on the thing without looking. I'm like, you got to tip, or you got to click on the thing. Or I would like sometimes just go and click no tip on my own, because it would just be so annoying.
See, but you worked for like a small business. When somebody's working for Starbucks or McDonald's, it's like, bro, they can afford to pay their workers way more.
100%.
Like,
I work for a family-run business.
Like, and that's the thing that I feel like people have just missed with this whole tipping culture, is at this point we're tipping people for like no reason. Like, we have made it where employers expect us to tip people because that's just the new norm. They lowered the wage because idiots are giving tips to corporations for nothing. And same thing with Uber, bro. I'm telling you right now, I'm sorry to anybody who's an Uber driver. Look, I'm not saying it's an easy job, and nothing I say here about tipping is gonna look good, right? Because it just sounds like a mean thing to say. I don't understand what I'm tipping for, right? In my mind, right, a tip is earned because the person is doing extra, right? If you're in a restaurant and somebody's checking in on you more through a little something here, you get a vibe when you want to give someone more money because you're like, you know what, like, I like the service, blah, blah, blah. When I order an Uber and the only job they have is to get me from point A to point B, it's their car most of the time. what exactly am I tipping them for? For a smooth ride? What's the other option? For the car smelling good? What's the other option? I don't know. I don't want to sound mean about it, but how many videos have you seen where people would deliver food and they didn't get tipped and they would start getting an attitude and they would start like cursing out and trying to fight and stuff like that?
Well, I've seen it in real life. We went to a restaurant and this lady was just messing up the whole time, nonstop. And when we were like paying the bill, she's like, no tip. And we're like, for what? And then they also sneak in this little nice thing. It's like gratuity.
Oh, yeah,
For
yeah,
what?
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
did
yeah.
literally. They forgot my drink. They forgot our sauces. They brought our food like 40 minutes late or something like that. And it's like, what am I tipping you for? Not doing your job? Next
Yeah,
time you'll
it's
know.
they do slip those in restaurants. You'll get the check and it's already included. But a lot of people
We got it taken out, by the way.
what?
We got the gratuity taken out of the bill. And we
Oh.
didn't leave a tip. We
Well,
said, for what? Like, you guys f***ed up our orders and stuff.
yeah, yeah. It's like I said. It's a tough hill to die on just because everybody who has worked one of those jobs understands the struggle, but we are a problem as a society, right? If I'm tipping somebody who works at Starbucks, like Starbucks should be paying you more. If I'm tipping somebody working at McDonald's should be paying you more. I don't tip my mailman. I've heard some people do that, and if they do, great. Mailman is the most important job in America, probably. The mailman is outside, rain, storm, snow, whatever it is, delivering important mail. And some people don't even know their mailman's name. They barely see the person, and they almost never tip them, right? There are some people who are friendly with their mailman, and that's cool. Like, I never got to that point. But the whole tipping thing is just ridiculous because now you have people expecting tips. And when you expect tips, you don't really put in an extra thing. You know what I mean? Because the whole idea of people working for tips is them doing extra. When you're already expecting a tip, because that's just like, the thing, nobody's doing anything extra. I'm so tired of these little screens getting turned around on me just because I just told the person what I want to order. Like, dude, what am I tipping you for exactly? Like, I'm sorry. Yeah, I understand not everybody has the luxury of like working a better job. Like, and again, this is just me speaking into the void. I'm not offering a lot of solutions here, but I think we as a society should be pushing for people to make a livable wage where a tip is just a nice extra thing they get on the side without needing it to survive.
But imagine this. So imagine someone tips like $2 for a coffee. Coffee takes what, like 3 minutes to make?
Mm-hmm.
And imagine for like the amount of time they're working, each time they make a coffee, they get another customer with another $2 tip. If you add that up, I think that comes out more than their hourly wage.
Yeah, which I mean, it is ridiculous. And like I said, for small businesses, it makes more sense. But when you're working for a big corporation, like, it sucks. You know what I mean? Domino's should be paying people more. McDonald's should be paying people more. All these fast food joints that are across the entire nation, and some of them are international, should be paying people more.
I understand tipping a delivery driver if he delivers your food when it's like hail outside or like snowstorm or something like that. But if it's just a regular day, you're doing your job. Like, you should be getting a livable wage and not relying on other people.
Because that's what I assume Uber does, right? Like, you have a car, you have, you do the registration or whatever Uber has you do, and then you're driving people around. And, like, for example, this is what, in my opinion, is like going above and beyond in an Uber. You ever been in an Uber where the guy has a screen at the like on your side and you could play games? Sometimes I've seen them offer water or like candy or something like that. Like, that is, he doesn't have to do that, right? He's doing that so your experience in the back is a little more enjoyable and memorable, right? Like, when you're playing these little like trivia games and stuff, it distracts you from where you're going. So that to me is like great. But again, I've barely seen people do that. I've gotten into Uber cars that smelled like ass. They smelled like sweat. They were dirty. And then at the
No
end,
AC.
and then at the end, it's like, yeah, no AC. And at the end, it's like tip. For what?
I had an Uber driver offer me an apple.
I don't know if I would take that.
I didn't. I was like, no, I'm okay, thank you. But still, I mean,
He
look,
turns around. He's like, take the apple.
no, look, I don't know if there was anything like any thought behind that, or if it was just a gesture. But I didn't take it because I was like, if it was like something packaged, maybe I would.
Closed. Yeah. Yeah.
But just an apple like that, I'm like, nah, I'm okay, thank you. I just ate.
Yeah, I feel like that was like a lesson I learned when I was a kid. You don't take food from strangers.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. Yeah, man. But these companies, dude, like it's honestly crazy. I mean, recently we talked about Legos. We when I was a kid, I remember this so vividly. I turned probably like 10, and I remember in Toys R Us when they were still around. I would go there and they would have this display of a Star Destroyer, a Lego Star Destroyer. It was huge. And I was like, oh my God, man, like that's such a dream. And I remember it was like $100, 120 to 150, something like that. And back then that was like a lot of money. For a Lego set, like that was a lot of money. Now, those same Star Destroyers are like $1,000. I'm like, and this is what confuses me about Legos. Every kid loves Lego. Everybody loves Lego. Adults love Lego. Kids love Legos. They are so expensive. A small Lego set is like sometimes $40 for you to put it together in like 15 minutes. They are so expensive. You want something really cool, like Lord of the Rings released like a Rivendell one. Bro, it was like $500. I mean, it's really cool, but it's like, dude, since when are Lego sets priced like a used car? They're so expensive. Who is it for? What parent is buying their kid? And that's the worst part, right? Because you buy one Lego set, a kid will love it. A kid will love the Lego set, and then they're like, we want more. And then at that point, I mean, right now, if I add up all the the prices of all the Legos I have, it'll easily pass $1,000, and that's insane. Like that's crazy. I know that, like. And it would be different if Lego marketed itself as like, oh, it's for adults or like people. They don't. They market it like it's for kids. It's like a thing that, I think I looked this up before. I think Lego, could you look it up? Lego makes a year like over $1 billion.
I'm not surprised.
And again, I'm not belittling anything, but they have such a, like, their formula works, right? Because you could make anything into a Lego. You have Lego video games, which are awesome. And now you have Lego sets. What did I hear?
74.3 billion in annual revenue in 2024.
Lego makes 74.3 billion in annual revenue in 2024. 74 billion, dude.
How much is the company worth?
Like, nobody talks about how much. Like, that's crazy. Like, I just don't.
You want something that's going to take you a while to put together, get one of those puzzle sets that's like 10,000 pieces.
Yeah, but Lego's cool because they're like,
I know.
They're themed, you get Star Wars Lego, you get like this Lego, that Lego, Harry Potter Lego. Like, it's just, I don't know. I really wish, when I was a kid, Legos were something that were really hard to come by. I feel like at some point they were a little easier to find and acquire. And then something happened where they just like broke off from everybody. And now they're just like, I wouldn't be surprised if Lego is the most like expensive. I don't want to say it's toys because that's just like, I don't know if that's accurate, but it's probably one of the most expensive. It's probably one of the most expensive companies out there making things for kids, adults, everybody. It's universal. It's great, but it's just like, if you're making 74 billion, it wouldn't kill you. Like, yeah, you'll drop, but like, I don't know.
I mean, realistically,
I'm speaking to soulless people.
How much does it take to produce a bunch of those plastic blocks. I think the thing
it can't be a lot, right?
I think the thing that costs the most is all of the intellectual
Property,
rights
exactly.
they're buying.
Yeah, when they sign a contract with like Warner Brothers to use
Mhm.
like all this stuff, and again, yes, that's probably true. But look at how far Lego has come. Lego had like I remember when Lego was just making video games, and Lego video games were like cool. Then Lego started making movies, and the Lego movie was popular. It was big. It was a big. It was like they had a crazy cast. Then there was like Lego Batman movie. I mean, Lego, you know, they have shows and stuff. People underestimate, and now they're in Fortnite and stuff.
Yeah.
Lego branched out, bro. People underestimate how far Lego has come. Like they are everywhere, dude.
I wonder if the reason they decided to branch out. Well, first of all, who reached out first, Fortnite or Lego? I feel like it would make sense for Lego if they saw a drop in sales, maybe to capture more of the growing, like the younger audience, because they
Maybe.
do have a foot in the door when it comes to slightly older people, like ages from, I don't know, 15 to like 25. But
Well,
what
it's a
about below
household
that?
name, right? Like
Yeah.
everybody knows what a Lego is.
Yeah, 100%.
Everybody knows what a Lego is, and that's what's like really crazy. Is again, I'm talking to obviously a CEO of Lego who cares not about, you know, what little kids everywhere are getting, but it would be nice to see that people can afford Legos. I
I'd
feel-
love to build that Star Destroyer.
Yeah, you look at. I mean, I'm telling you, Google half of this stuff. You look at the Death Star, for example, like $1,800 or something. Like it's some insane prices. Like that's rent for some people, and you're buying a Lego set.
1,800 on Amazon.
Like
1,700 for
a Star Destroyer. Like,
But that's like the big one. The smaller one is $158.
yeah, but that's not the same thing, you know.
Obviously not.
And
Millennium Falcon, $850.
yeah, it's expensive, and you know it sucks because I think Lego's great. I love Legos. I love the video games. I love the fact that they take different properties and they could make a Lego out of it, a Lego, you know, universe thing out of it. It's really cool. So I don't know. Hopefully in the future we'll. I mean, that's why you know how it's like a known thing where Lego pieces, like little characters, after some years, you know, a little Darth Vader figure you have or an Anakin figure, it could cost like $60. Like you go on eBay, you could find some of the what? What do you? There's more?
No, not that. It's funny you say that, but when I was getting the cake for you, I was looking it up how much the figures for
Anakin and
Anakin
Obi-Wan?
and Obi-Wan are. The Obi-Wan one was 15 and the Anakin one was 30.
And that's just a figure.
Yeah.
Keep in mind for $30 you could probably buy like a small Lego set. And that's one figure.
For $30 I'll buy a set, learn how to carve, and I'll carve one out of wood and then paint it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy. But speaking of video games, dude, do you remember I had a lot of PS2 games and I had like Nintendo games and stuff like that. Music in video games was, I mean, it was so memorable to me. I was thinking about this earlier. You know how they say games that cost less money to make, they just had more soul, and it felt like, you know, back then the budgets for these games were just so small. Right now you could find some company making a game for like 500 million and you're like, whoa, and then the game comes out and it's just bad. But then back in the day you had like these PS2 games, these classic games that cost a fraction of that to make. And one thing that I think shows how much they cared about video games and experiences and stuff like that, I was remembering video game music, right? These little soundtracks that they had. I'll give you an example. For example, a lot of sports games back in the day, like WWE, FIFA, all these games, they had like soundtracks that were so memorable that you could put it on and some people will guess they will remember what FIFA it was from.
Need
or
for Speed,
Need for Speed, all
Most Wanted.
dude, they had like these games had unforgettable soundtracks. Some of them had music made specifically for the game. I'll give you an example. I don't know if you ever heard this one. You might have. The James Bond GoldenEye on I think it was Nintendo 64. Is the second one. The pause music. Look at it on YouTube. We'll play a little bit of it here. Look at it on YouTube. This is the music that would play when you pause the game. So it's not even in the back. It's when you just pause the game to go take a piss. Play it. Like you would just want to keep that playing and just like.
I mean, this is a very simple melody.
It is, but it's like, but it fits the game.
It fits the game.
Sounds like James Bond.
And it's also, well, to be fair, the game is very old.
Yeah, but dude, like they.
No, I'm just saying that to my point with it's a very simple melody.
Yeah,
Nothing
but the
special.
detail, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, 100%.
Like, not even in the background or this was a pause music. Like, when is the last time you paused the game and it just didn't just freeze? There was like something happening that's like, I don't know. To me, it's insane. I used to play a lot of on PS2, PS3. I used to play, like, I grew up on Ratchet and Clank. It's my favorite franchise that was owned by Play. I don't know if they still own it. I mean, I think they do. Insomniac has it, but there was this song. It's the other one I linked. It's called. Go on YouTube and type in Ratchet and Clank. Kerwan. It's Kerwan. It's like a song. It's so fire. Let's listen to the beat drop. Wait. Just wait. It's coming. Dude, on God, call my phone right now. Call my phone.
No way.
Dude, I'm telling you, call my phone right now.
No more Ghostbusters?
Dude. Wait. No. I'm telling you, dude. Undefeated. Ratchet and Clank. Dude, Ratchet and Clank is one of the OGs of, I mean, just platformer games, dude. It's so good. Like, God bless. Straight up. Like, I miss it, man. I miss it. I feel like, and again, these games were not made by these, gigantic companies. I don't know who made the GoldenEye game, but like Ratchet and Clank, Insomniac. I know people now like associated with Spider-Man, and that was like a big title that they got. But before that, it was just Ratchet and Clank. It was like a lot of smaller things that did not have a gigantic, budget to work with.
While we're still on the topic of games, I don't know if you heard anything about Stop Killing Games. It's this thing, I believe it's signed, it's a petition in Europe. So, you know how you buy a game exists for a certain amount of years, and then the
server shut down or whatever?
Service shut down,
yeah.
And so on. Basically, the whole thing with it is that it's an online campaign demanding that the game publishers stop shutting down online only games that players have purchased. Basically, they're referring to it as like, you buy something in real life, you own it.
I know. Yeah. When you buy a physical,
yeah.
This was a big problem. So you used to go and buy a disc, right? You'd buy a video game. It'll come with a hard disk. You'd play it. That's it. You own it. You can plug it in 10 years, in 15 years. You have the game. What they do now sometimes with games is you'll have a game, even if it's a physical copy, you have the disc. They will then shut down servers or any support for the game, and you will try playing it, and you can't. And it's crazy because this is something you own that you can't even, spend time with. You can't play it. You can't do anything about it. It's just, you just sit there and you're like, what does this even mean?
So, I don't know if you know who Notch is. He's the creator of Minecraft. and he
Okay.
had a pretty interesting take on the whole situation. If you buy a game, if buying a game is not a purchase, then pirating them is not theft. What do you think about that?
If buying a game is not a purchase, who said it's not a purchase?
Notch. Well, okay, so
Is that how they behave?
This
That,
is
like,
let me give you some context before that. There were like talks about companies saying that buying a game like virtual
okay,
on one of their platforms is not similar as to buying something in real life, like something physical, like one of those toys you have behind you. And he brought that up
figures.
because a lot of times they also complain about people pirating their games. And in recent years, I believe pirating has been on the rise.
Well,
No one
'cause-
wants to pay these
yeah,
outrageous
'cause-
$70
because,
prices.
Yeah, you make a game $80 and then it's half broken. Who wants to pay for that? I mean, I agree with that. I think it's actually insane. Can you imagine meeting somebody in the year 2000 where, like, you know, GameStop culture and in general going out to buy video games, midnight releases was a big thing. Can you imagine meeting someone and being like, "Hey, you know this game you just bought? Imagine, you know, Bungie just stop servers running and you can't play campaign anymore."
But you know what it is? It's also a big problem because the reason, so they kind of force the whole server shutdown because they start coming out with new game. Let's say Call of Duties. There's
Yeah.
a new game every single year. So majority of the people that are playing the old one are jumping to the new one, and there's a very small population.
That
Every
stay.
time a new one comes out,
Yeah.
the population of the ones that were like released 4 years ago or 5 years ago at the time,
Yeah.
it just starts dwindling to nothing. It's filled with hackers. Nothing's getting monitored. So it gets to the point where there's like a population of, I don't know, under 1,000 people playing it, if not less, under 100 people playing it. And game companies are like, well, I guess it's dead. We don't need to keep updating it or like keep up with the servers.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it's some kind of scummy marketing scheme as well, where they're like, just like
Releasing a new game. every
release a
single
new
time.
game, and then maybe not the game before that, but the game before that one, you just be like, "Oh, we no longer support servers," and then you just force people to
Buy the new game, yeah.
either the new one or the one before it.
Yeah, but then it's also a problem with Call of Duty. So we spoke about this before, where it just, you know how people say, "Oh, this new Call of Duty feels like the old one, but with more bugs and stuff."
Yep.
So from what I've read, the way Call of Duty does things, or like, well, companies that make Call of Duty, the way they do things is they take the old game, they just plaster some new stuff on top of it, and it's just all a reskin, and it's just all like an upside down pyramid where it all started at like base level, and it just constantly keep building up and up and up and up, and it's not getting better.
This is what, you know, this whole thing about Call of Duty being the same. I mean, I'm a huge Call of Duty fanboy and stuff, and I've heard this since, I mean, I don't know, when I became like a very conscious Call of Duty player, maybe like 2010-9, like Modern Warfare 2 times. And the problem is, it's because a lot of these other games do the same thing, right? You have FIFA that pretty much reskins every year and they make billions. You have Call of Duty that most of the time, if not always, reskins and they make billions. You have Halo was doing it at some point, although Halo was taking a lot. I don't want to push Halo in that. Assassin's Creed at this point too, they just changed the theme, but like the basic at this point, the last couple of years, it feels like the mechanics have been the same. There's no, like, this is what people need to understand. The way you get change from these companies, and this is about everything, stop buying it. You got to hit them where it hurts. You speak and vote with your wallet.
Yep.
Like,
But you know that's not gonna happen. 2 or 3 people in a friend group buy the game, and then you're just kind of like,
yeah, of course.
okay, I have
of
to
course.
buy it too.
But that's why you need more influential people. You need to have people who have fan bases, these YouTubers who make money off of these games. Like, you will take an L for a year or two, but this is how you force change. If you want these companies to take some time and develop something and actually care about the guy who's running, like, this is the other thing that people just ignore all the time. These CEOs and like these suits that walk around, these like Blizzard and all that stuff, they don't care about these characters. They don't care about the story. They don't care about the product. When they see a graph and they see money and they see microtransactions and the graph just goes up, there is zero incentive for them to make something different. Why would you? Do not reinvent the wheel. Why would you do something different? Because some people are complaining. I've done this all the time. I complained about FIFA, I buy FIFA. I complained about Call of Duty, I buy the Call of Duty. Like, I'm part of the problem, but there needs to be a wave of people. And it might happen when they start making these games, like base games, $90 to $100. Who's going to be affording that? Who's going to be playing that?
I'm not.
And then you're gonna go back to when people were pirating games.
Well, you know what's gonna also happen at that point? Indie developers are gonna get a huge.
Oh yeah,
influx.
yeah.
It's already happening slowly.
A lot, yeah.
How
Indie
many-
games are just wow now. Yeah,
How many indie games have went completely viral in the past like 3 years or so?
so many, way more than
A
like
lot.
yeah.
And how many these AAA games did the same? Pulled all these numbers. Look at Pal World. It went insane. Everybody was crazy over it because it was like, oh, this is a spin-off. There was so much hate towards it, but then they made so much money.
Yeah, I mean they struck, while the iron's hot. I mean, Rockstar is a good example, right? Because all GTAs are GTA. Like you're not gonna play a GTA and you're like, whoa, the mechanics are insane. Like they're GTA, but the thing is that they take like 10 years to develop one of them, right? And when it comes out, the product comes out, you're like, okay, they improved this, you just enjoy it, and you don't need it to be a fully different game. Of course, then what happens is you have microtransaction. I can't imagine how much money Rockstar was making off of like GTA 5 microtransactions, but that's just something that's killing the game as well. As long as you're pouring money into these companies, then there's no incentive for them to change. People have been complaining about it with Overwatch. That was the most hilarious one because when Overwatch 2 came out, like it's the most disgraceful addition of just the number 2 behind the title.
Yeah.
There was absolutely nothing new about it. I don't care if somebody's like they added a mode. Add a mode. Call of Duty always added demolition at the end of the year or something. That's not a new game. That's a new mode. You add a couple of heroes, cool. Smite has been around. League of Legends has been around. They add new heroes all the time.
So there's one game that proves a lot of these MMORPGs, literally anything, that you can go strong having so many years behind your back. You don't like this game. I love the game. I played it religiously for like 3 months straight.
Which one?
Warframe. It's been around for years. There's obviously a system where you can buy stuff with platinum, which is like currency you purchase with real life money.
Yeah.
But you can also make platinum in the game. You can farm some, and it's not hard too. You get it. You can farm up a decent amount of platinum pretty quickly. Like I think within an hour, I don't know, I could have farmed like around $10 worth of platinum.
I don't have a problem with microtransactions as a whole. I understand that developers need to make money even after the fact. For example, I think in Fortnite, I have no problem paying for a skin because I see what I'm playing as. I think it's funny. There are emotes that go along with the skins. When you buy a skin in Call of Duty, which I've done before, but it's like you don't even see it. Like, what are you paying for? When you have GTA, right? They made it so difficult to make in-game currency that people are buying these shark cards because they're releasing jets that cost $60 billion in the game. And you're just basically alienating a huge part of your fan base because you're just promoting content that's, you want people to just pay more money for. And that's whatever. Like, I have no problem with indie creators, indie games doing that. I have no problem giving some money to even big companies, but make it worthwhile.
Well, going back to Fortnite, you know what? Personally, it makes me feel like I want to give the developers some money because that's a free game.
That's another, that's a big
A
thing.
lot of these free games, when they release so there's a difference. There are free games that are pay to win, or like even pay to progress, which is even worse than pay to win.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then there's free games that are just like, oh, well, you can completely finish the game or like play as much as you want completely for free. We don't care. But we have these cool skins that you might enjoy in the store.
Yeah, if you're releasing a free game, you have all the right in the world to make as much microtransactions as long as it's not pay to win.
How many games right now are selling battle passes left and right?
Like everything.
Everything. Literally
Mobile games,
everything,
everybody's selling
everything
a battle
has
pack.
a battle pass.
Yeah.
Warframe has a completely free battle pass.
Well,
Like there's no way to buy the battle pass. The only thing you're buying in Warframe is skins. You can use money to buy different Warframes, but all that really does is just saves you like, I don't know, maybe an hour or two of playtime. But why would you want to do it? Because the way you get like these characters
yeah.
is by doing quests and like interesting stuff. So why would you go around that? But it's an option out there. But when a game comes out and it's just completely pay to win, for example, Game of Thrones, King's Road,
Yeah. You saw
that
me.
one is not even pay to win, it's pay to progress. You get stuck at a certain point and it's like, oh, you want to progress? Okay, either you play for like 40 hours to be able to complete one more quest until you get stuck behind another 40-hour thing,
Yeah.
or you give us like a couple $100 and then you can finish the game.
A couple $100.
Yeah, it's super expensive because that game was made for mobile games with pay to win. It just like it's tied
I mean,
like this.
that's all of them. Yeah. I want to get to one quick story. We're not gonna get to the big one. We're gonna save it for next week. But something huge that happened this week was the Department of Justice released a memo where they essentially say that Jeffrey Epstein, no foul play. It was I'm not gonna say the word, but he unalived himself. There was a lot of outrage, and I think the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing is really interesting because when the whole thing happened, when the story came out that he unalived himself, it was kind of like you have conspiracy theorists and you have regular people, and everybody agrees that it's weird. The problem is with the term conspiracy theorist, like some people throw it around because some people earned it, and then other people ask questions, and as soon as you ask a question, somebody just throws in, you're a conspiracy theorist. The Jeffrey Epstein thing was just weird, regardless of what you think. This guy was pictured with so many influential people. The story of what happened, this guy was on S-Watch, so I don't want to say the word because it's YouTube. He was on S-Watch. He gets taken off of S-Watch, moved to a different cell. He had a cellmate with him, right? That cellmate then gets transferred out, right? That cellmate gets transferred out. The cameras stop working.
At 12.
At 12. The security guards fall asleep, okay? Then the coroner said that there was a break. There were multiple breaks in his neck, which the official story is that it happens in older men. His brother hired a different person, like a what was it? It was an independent guy to look into it, who said that those breaks don't happen and that's proof of foul play. The entire story about how it happened was so bizarre, and if you just lay it out one by one, it's laughable. This was a high profile person. And I think where he was being held, it was like a very underfunded facility. So it's easy to say that this can happen. 1 second.
Well, the problem is the camera that gets posted around everywhere is one that's facing like a hallway, but it's not directly facing Epstein's cell. The one that was facing Epstein's cell, they claimed that there was like something in the system and it got deleted by accident.
Yeah, the camera
That's
thing.
insane.
The camera thing was crazy, and I'm telling you, if you're somebody who still thinks this is some kind of crazy conspiracy theory, how can you? Like, how can you really? This guy who was friends with so many people, goes to prison, and everything surrounding what happened literally doesn't. When has this ever happened? Like, for real, to somebody like this? When? But okay, it's fine, whatever. Like I said, the interesting part about that was so many people agreed that it was too good to be true. You know what I mean? Department of Justice comes out with a memo, and they say that, everybody was waiting for the Epstein client list to be released. Now it comes out that there's no list. And part of the outrage was this. Pam Bondi, a few months ago, said that the list was on her desk. Why would she say that? what's the point of saying that? You could go ahead and be like, oh, it's theater. Why would you say that? Why would you egg people on about something this serious? You know, you've had so many representatives talking about the severity of the crimes that this man committed. You're spoon feeding people information. You're telling them that this client list, tens of thousands of names are in there, and there's no list. Cash was on podcasts before he was sworn in talking about that the reason this list hasn't come out yet was because of who's on this list. Now there's no list. Part of the reason they don't want to release this list, I think, is not necessarily... There might be a lot of names on there that might have nothing to do with crimes specifically, but because those names are going to be part of this list, it's just bad. So if there's no list, why is Ghislaine Maxwell in prison serving 20 years? Why did Epstein do what he did? Why was he... If there's no list, if there's no... I know somebody's going to be like, oh, that doesn't mean there's no crime. So you're telling me that these people had no other connections? This guy was a major trafficker and there were no connections, nobody arrested aside from Ghislaine Maxwell, nobody was associated with this guy? And if that's true, and there literally is nothing to know, they are part of the problem, because for this whole time, they've been parading around the internet telling people that there's definitely something going on, that there's something freaky going on. They are literally, they're just feeding this whole idea of a deep state. As soon as they get sworn in, now there's no list, and it's 100%, him unaliving himself.
How did this man who had no job make all of that money to own an island?
Dude, the owner of Victoria's Secret gave him a mansion in Manhattan. Gifted it to him.
The only thing that is possible in his line of work is blackmail.
It honestly, like I said...
Well, obviously, the whole trafficking thing, too.
I feel like Jeffrey Epstein is as clear-cut a really weird cover-up as there has ever been. You can think everything's a conspiracy theory. That's totally fine. But just look into it. It does you no harm. If you don't want to waste time on like stupid stuff, fair enough. Like you don't have to. But I think with things like this, with something as big as this guy, if you look into what this guy was accused of and everything surrounding him, it's just really strange that there's nobody fighting to know more, with the amount of people he was connected with. And now, nobody believes it. Nobody believes it. So, I don't know. I don't want to get too crazy about this, because I could go on forever. But definitely something to talk about more, maybe in a separate video. We don't know. Definitely looking into making more videos. But I'm getting really hot in here. I'm sweating.
You're not the only one. So
thank you for going into this schizo arc with me. Really appreciate you. Please subscribe, like, comment. Tell the Indonesian people your boy sent you. And we out here, man. Did
you weigh yourself?
No, dude. I didn't weigh myself for a few reasons. Hey, we're going to do this. If by next week, last time I said it was 179.
Yep.
If by next week I'm not 169, we'll do a punishment. Listen, 4th of July was good.
169,
right here,
10 pounds?
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. 4th of July was good right here and right here. So that's all we got to say. Thank you so much for watching and enjoy the ride. Bye.
Shit Italians. If y'all hit us, then let your talent get expanded. Use the tally, couldn't count it for the fam. We gon' beat the challenge outright. Making love to the chicken. Banks on banks on banks on fitting. Everything I wish for.